Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza and welcome to my channel, Sophie Stained Glass. Those of you who are familiar with my channel know I've got hundreds of videos about architectural glass, but today I've got something a bit different. So I thought I'd have a go at some Christmas ornaments. I've never done anything like this before, but I thought it would be a nice thing for complete beginners to have a go at. And it's a bit of a tutorial, but it's also just a way of giving you ideas for things you can make yourself. So I'll just talk about a couple of the different techniques that I've used. So this is all Tector glass, and I sprinkled frit on top, powdered frit, and I have used doilies, this one as well, to get the pattern, which I hope is a little bit of a kind of snowflake effect. So these are snowflake effect, and these are baubles. And I've also used a real leaf for this one, which I think is really pretty. And of course you can use anything as your stencil. So you could use a piece of holly, or you could cut out a star, anything like that really. So that's a technique where you would need a kiln to fuse. So I've also done just some very simple leaded baubles. So this one, obviously it's just two different shades of glass, and then I also did one somewhere, if I can find it, which is just one piece, I will find it, of pretty glass. There it is. One piece of pretty glass. So if you have got some nice offcuts, it's a good way to use them. So I hope it inspires you, and please explore my other videos. Don't forget to hit the bell icon at the bottom. I do 2 videos a week and you'll get notified if you do. Please like, comment and subscribe. So the first thing you do is cut your circles out. Not the most beautiful circle, but I'm going to lead these at the end, so it doesn't really matter. I've done a video about a circle cutter and whether or not it cuts better circles than cutting them by hand. And they are a bit better, but for my purposes, cutting them by hand is adequate, and I get bored and impatient setting up a circle cutter. So I'm just doing these by hand, and I'm doing a variety of sizes. So there we go. Stage 1, cut your blanks. So I'm going to get my snowflake effect with the use of a doily. The pattern is only around the outside, and there are quite large areas without the little sort of detailed cutouts, which won't work that well on a small blank. So I cut it. Oops, I just done something silly there. I cut it and taped it together, which means hopefully I can get lots of detailed work onto my blank. The first colour I'm going to work with is royal blue transparent. I'm using up my old sample bags, so you can order a complete set of colours, and they come in a variety of coarsenesses and colours, and this is the powdered form, which is actually what I would prefer. So I'm going to put this royal blue, I think I'll just do it all over actually. but I have done it thicker on that side. Maybe we'll do it thick on all the sides, because if you do it too thick, it makes a mess when you take the doily off. Oh, so I said that, I may have just made a mess. So there we go. That's number one. I'm going to do a mixture of white and blue. That's quite pretty. I think that might have an icy feel about it. I quite like that. So this, although it looks like pale blue, is violet striker. And this will change colour when it's fired. So it's actually quite hard to take them off without shaking. So I just cut a piece of this up. I don't know whether you probably didn't see that, sorry about that. So I've just cut this off the doily and just going to trim it in a cat-handed kind of way. Should I do two or one is the question. I'll do one on one and two on another. So the idea of this is you get a little bit of a colour graduation and the pattern. That's not too bad. So you can see I have a nice leaf, which is a little bit like a Christmas tree. So I think you know what I'm going to do. So the best way to pick them up is if you've got the tip over the edge. Cut out a template. That's going to be too big. I don't normally do my nibbling in the same place that I am cutting because you get all the debris, but I'm doing it that way so that I can show you how I do it without having to move my camera. So pull, so, like that. There we are. Oh, okay. I think there was a bit too much. Red garnet. I have this piece of Tector that has got a sort of shading of red on it from some experiments I was doing. So I am going to use this, a smaller one I think, to make a bauble. Because this has already been in the kiln, it has shrunk a little and got a bit fatter. If I remember rightly, glass always tries to get to 4mm thickness. So if you just keep putting things in the kiln, they'll keep shrinking until they get to a thickness of 4mm. So this is a bit harder to snap. Nice. So here they all are in the kiln. I know they all look like, well, I know it looks like there's only one red one in there, but that's because you won't get the colour of the red until the powder is fired. And of course that last round bauble I made was on a blank that had already been fired. So quite excited to come back tomorrow and see what they all look like. Now, what do we think? I think they're quite pretty. Some more successful than others. Very good. Having made some transparent baubles, which I haven't leaded yet, I'm going to make a few with opaque glass because these are very nice with a bit of light behind them, and they're quite nice without light behind them. But I thought if I did some with opaque glass, they'd show up really well on a Christmas tree. And I don't have a lot of use for opaque glass because it can unbalance a window. If you, I'm going to turn this off. It can unbalance a window if you mix opaque. Oh, that's a nice piece. And transparent glass. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm being very careful not to melt the lead, because when you first use your soldering iron it's quite hot. There we are. I have edged these in a normal H profile lead, and that's letting me put this ribbon in the channel. Sorry, I don't know a more elegant way of tying knots except using my teeth. This is quite slippy ribbon. You can edge your decorations, ornaments, what have you, with a C-shaped lead, profile lead, which is, as you will imagine, C-shaped, and then you will need to put a ring on the edge to attach to your tree. Or you could, if you're a copper foiler, obviously do your copper foil thing. If you're a fuser, you could do a full fuse to get rid of any sharp edges, and then you could glue a little finding, like a jewellery finding that's quite delicate and pretty, to the top. Or if you do a double layer, because you're a fuser, you can have an inclusion of a ring, metal hoop. You will find your own way. This is, well, I mean, it's part tutorial, I suppose, but really I just wanted to inspire you to go ahead and do your own thing, because I'm no specialist in making ornaments. In fact, I can't think when I've ever done it before. But for beginners, this is a great way to get started. If you're not up to cutting circles, that's all right, because actually diamonds look really pretty too. And then you can just, well, you can do any shape really, can't you? Use up your scraps, and if you are a hobbyist, you maybe have a hobby kiln, which is what I had in mind when I did my fused ones. Hobby kilns are these microwave kilns that are made of some sort of NASA type white polystyrene-esque material that, I don't know how it works, but it magically converts your microwave into a kiln. Obviously it only works on items small enough to get inside a thing that looks about as big as a Chinese steamer. But if you're getting started doing maybe fused jewellery, they are a great option. I think they're about £100, which might sound like a big investment to you, but the smallest type of kiln is about £600, so relatively speaking it's quite cheap. There. Right, I'm going to hang these up and we will see what they look like.